Dropping Gems, Time for Change Tuesdays. What's up? I know I was talking about all this clinician stuff. I was getting ahead. If you're ready to be a whole leader, because it is important after you get a award, when you roll that out. Are you ready to sacrifice? Are you ready to gain? Are you ready? What are you ready to do? What are you ready to do? I used to teach a group a long time ago. Shout out to the mental health agency that I used to work for. And I developed a whole group. It said, get ready to work. But I'm here to tell you, you need to get ready for entrepreneurship. Shout out to all of my clients, all of my people who always rooting me on, all of my change agents. Like, you know, we're growing, we're glowing. That's what we're supposed to do. So, yeah, we not going to get it twisted. Yeah. I got my red and black today, y'all. You know, I had to expense something red and black, you know, a little something for y'all. Because we time for changing. So I'm in my red today, okay? All right, so it's very important as a clinician for me to teach you, like, we talked a little bit about the leadership skills, but I was talking about like the personality and like what does that look like, okay? So we're going to get in a little bit of school, and this is going to get a little bit more clinical, because remember, this is the psychological perspectives of business. So you need to be considering the clinical perspectives as I'm talking, because that's why I'm not really talking. I'm actually teaching and talking. It's called psychoeducational, right? So I'm teaching and talking. And so a lot of people sometimes, remember I said in one of the shows, my appearance is so psychologically wrapped up that it might go over your head. Yeah, literally, my delivery might be so psychologically wrapped up that it might go over your head. And that's okay. That's okay. Just click rewind and watch it again. Because you got to pay attention to all of the small things, the big things, everything that you need to pay attention to that's going to make you feel whole and make you feel unique, elite, and different from the rest. So again, the clinician's perspective of business is so important, because you as an entrepreneur, you have to get into this mindset that is not of the worker. And workers are amazing, because we talked about how we need workers, right? But if you are on the break of being an entrepreneur, what does that mean for you? Are you going to be the only worker, or are you going to have people that's going to work for you? So it's going to be so important for you to pay attention to that. And I know I say it's going to be so important, it's going to be so important, it's going to be so important. I know people probably mocking me, but it is. These things are to be considered because of the self-awareness you need to be an effective leader. So if you're not looking at yourself and you just working and you just working and you just working and you just working, that's cool. As long as you just working and working and working, you're not going to pay attention to who you hire, if they're a good fit, if they're not a good fit, if they, you know, if they're a good match for you. So about that with the personality perspectives, right? The personality perspective. So we talked a little bit about the big 5 personality traits. Okay, and the big 5 personality traits is openness, conscientiousness. Yeah, that word is like so long, and so it has too many S's, and I'm terrible. And then extroversion or agreeableness, and neuroticism. Are you neurotic? Are you? You got to reveal your leadership growth in those areas so that you know what you need to get back. Okay? So, this model is like built in scientific groundwork, right? So, it's so important to know that this is not something that is not science. I'm not just speaking about like words, right? I'm saying that this is applicable. This is applicable to your leadership skills and your leadership talent. All right? So openness, creativity, curiosity, and adaptability. Creativity, curiosity, and adaptability. Adaptability. Conscientiousness. I hate that word. Organization, responsibility, and reliability. How do you keep yourself organized? How do you stay cautious of the things that's going on around you? How do you stay cautious of the things that's going on around you, even though you're not there? As a leader, I am not in my building all the time, right? But I knew that this day the air wasn't working and they did something to the air, so I had that in reserve, right? And that I know that, okay, I need to follow up. So it's not hard to be conscientious, but you got to start paying attention to the things that's going on around you. I know that on North Capitol Street, they were doing construction. It wouldn't be ideal for me to send my staff to an event that's at this time. Me being conscientious of the things that's going on, I'm going to make a leadership judgment as to when the person should go or when my staff should go. That makes sense? Paying attention to the organization of things is so important when you're not around. Now, I'm going to equip you to grow, right? So that's why I'm talking about it in this way. But if you want to equip, you want to use me for small things, that's fine. But what does that mean? Do you want to just be a small business? Do you want to apply for these grants and not grow and become bigger than what you are? Cool. But if you want to grow and you want to be bigger than what you are, this is something that you should pay attention to, because you have to be cautious and conscientious of the things that's going on around you. Extroversion. A lot of people be like, oh, she's an extrovert. Oh, she's an extrovert. Oh, she's an extrovert. She's an extrovert. In my leadership skills, I am, because I have to be. But actually at home, I'm an introvert. Actually at home, I'm an introvert. I like to get in the bed, watch my TV, not talk to people, maybe talk to one person, be in the dark. Because I get so much stimulus as a leader that I have to shut down. Sometimes I just have to shut down. Okay? You got to know that about yourself as a leader. That you got to be extrovert. You got to talk. Or you're going to have to hire somebody else to talk. But this is one of the personality traits. Agreeableness. So compassion, cooperation, and empathy. If you don't agree with certain people, you know it's a certain way how you could work through those things. That is another leadership quality. So neuroticism is like emotional stability. So whether you are resilient and you are in emotional control. So like people are going to make you angry. People are going to make you upset, y'all. Y'all going to be pissed off. But you have got to exude control. And it's going to be so important. Yes, I'm saying it again. So important, Jim, that you exude control over your emotions. Because they will get tested. Because everyone wants to see the leader blow. Everyone wants to see the leader blow. If you remember that, then you could be the best leader that you can be. It's going to be important for you to pay attention to your emotional control. Frustrations, being upset, is very important to know that these things will happen, and that's okay. That's okay. Now, when you have the analysis of these things, right? So we talked about the 5 things. But when you have the analysis of these things, you're paying attention to whether the openness is high, which means that the person is like a visionary. Their stuff is adaptable. They're willing to try new things. I'm open to this. Oh, I could be an entrepreneur. All I gotta do is watch the Droppin show. Oh my God. I'm open. Right? Visionary. I can see myself in this, right? I can see myself doing a great job. You are watching my show, so everybody should be open. Because you should be adapting these things and saying, let me see this thing work. Let me see what Tanya's talking about. Let me see if it's really going to work. Well, it got to work because I'm sitting before you. I wouldn't be sitting here before you if I didn't think that I was an expert of what I'm talking about. No, so if you're not open to listening to me, I don't know what to tell you. Now, some people, they'll start little businesses or whatever. And they think that just because they started something online, that they don't have to apply the things that I'm teaching them. Or apply the things that I've already recorded. I already gave you the gems. What you doing with them? You ain't putting them on your teeth because I ain't seen you. I'm just saying. When they're low, when the openness is low, you notice that values and traditions are not exposed. You don't need proof before, like you need data before you like pivot into certain things. So you see how both of those sides, the high and the low, could very well be, a support to a leader. Some people that are less open have certain types of positions that work for them. These are the things that you got to be paying attention to. Because a person in the interview might tell you, I just like to do my work, black and white. If I know the rules and regulations, I can do it. Sometimes they'll tell you, man, I got so many ideas. I think that we get along so well. I think that I got so many ideas. What do you want? How do you want this to look? Because I could draw up something and I could put it together and it's going to be great. That is the level of openness that you might want or you might not want. Time for change is, if I had somebody come in and say, oh, I think we could change the mission. I'm going to look at them like, yeah, you can't work here. You can't work here. You cannot change the mission. The mission is what it is. But, hey, Miss Tonya, I want to do some program development. I'm thinking that this would be a good program. Oh, okay, draft it up. Let me see what it looks like. Because it's underneath the scope of what we're already doing. Extroversion. Charismatic, energizes teams, thrives in networking. Some people they don't even know how to begin to talk to people that they don't know. Me, I talk to people that I don't know all the time. I talk to people that I don't know all the time, so much so that people think, wait for it, that they know me. And then they lie. Come on now. Preach, Jim. Then they lie. They be like, oh, I know her. Where? When? Oh, where? How? Why? Oh, you see me where? Oh, okay. And you know me? Oh, okay. You know my life? You know my life? No, you don't know my life because I ain't tell you my life. Why is you playing? Why is you playing? I'm just saying. So, if it's low, if extroversion is low, it's reflective, often strong, one-on-one with written communication. That means you're going to hide and you're going to write everything out and you ain't going to say nothing. How many of y'all know them type of people? You run and you hide and you ain't going to say nothing. Ha! Jeff, I know a lot of them. You run and you hide and you ain't going to say nothing? Yeah, that ain't me. That ain't me. So I be looking for people that do, like, come on, you gonna talk to me about this? Because I like to communicate. Agreeableness. Now, if it's high, you build trust and you foster psychological safety. If it's high, people feel very safe around you because you just like, yep, yeah, very agreeable. Now, low means that you're decisive, under conflict, and less likely to avoid tough calls. Now, sometimes you have to make a tough call. You have to fire people. It is what it is. It's a part of the job. So, sometimes you're hiring supervisors and leaders, and I have to hire good supervisors and leaders because sometimes they have to fire people. I can't do all the firing and hiring at my level. That's for somebody else to do. I do have my level, but you know, people may struggle. So we're going to talk about neuroticism. All right. So people may struggle with stress and emotional regulation if it's high. Right. So if you're neurotic and it's high, then you struggle with your stress and your emotional regulation. Now, stress is going to come. Stress is going to go. We already know that that's going to happen when you are a leader and you're in control. But when you hire people, you need to know if they could deal with the temperament of the population or the temperament of the thing or the activity that you got to get them to do. When it's low, you're steady under pressure and you're resilient in leadership crisis. So you shouldn't be neurotic, right? I ain't gonna lie, I'm in between. Because when I get stressed out, I be wanting to curse somebody out. But then I control myself. So I'm kind of both. I'm like in between. All right? When you understand the big 5 of the personality traits, you understand how to hire people who complement and not duplicate your style. Jim. Hire people that complement and not duplicate your style. You identify communication gaps or conflict triggers, right? So if you see little things, you kind of like, oh, I know why this person is doing that. Develop self-awareness as part of the emotional intelligence, being very aware. And then this helps you do team mapping organization. So you can map out personality, diversity to strengthen the collaboration amongst your team. We had a before the storm happy hour this summer. We had a before the storm. I invited everybody out because we needed to know that we gonna have to have this camaraderie together while we're working through the recruitment, while we're working with all of this stuff. And then we're gonna have an after the storm dinner. Because we're gonna have to just sit there and reflect and see what we did wrong. These types of modalities and different types of techniques of leadership and keeping your team and cohesive is what helps you, because you know that if your team is open to going to dinner, you already know the personalities that you already exude and you hire. And if they don't, guess what? If I don't see them, I talk to them, I pull them up. I'm like, what's up? You couldn't come to happy hour? You couldn't come to the dinner? You couldn't come to the graduation? You couldn't support the students? Which one is it? Like, what's going on? I approach and I ask those questions because it's so important, because it's a part of the culture. All right? Now, reflect on where your leadership excels and where it struggles. Is the purpose of you being able to look at these big 5. Just like I was just talking to you just now, and I was saying throughout that whole process, if you was paying attention, because I know it's the psychological perspectives of business, and I know the clinician is speaking and it sounds like it's malarkey and it's blah, but you got to rewind. Now, if you listening to it, right, and listening to me, you knew that I was breaking down like, this is what I am out of this. This is what I am out of this. This is sometimes how I see these things. This is what I do. Right? So you seeing it and seeing it and seeing it, and you like, oh, okay. But that's what you need to be doing to yourself to kind of get more sticky, icky, more self-aware. Okay? It's going to be important for you to get more self-aware. It maps out the things, the techniques, and the things that you can do for your team. It helps you with the performance reviews and evaluations of your team. It helps you with the coaching of your team. It helps you resolve conflict in your team. All right? When you use conscientious, we'll put the word up. When you use that, it helps you to already know what is going on around you. This person is this person is that, this person is this. You're being conscientious about everything that is around you as a leader. And it helps you to effectively map out and plan how to hire the people that you need to hire, how to work with the people that you need to work with. You gotta have this in your swag bag as a change agent, because you gotta feel like you can have people that work for you forever. I had people that have worked for me since the beginning of Time for Change. They ain't gone nowhere. They like working for me. And it's because our personalities, I already interviewed them and know that the personality is going to fit. And we're going to be a good pair. And they're going to deliver the unique, elite, and different from the rest mission of eradicating crime and homelessness by way of employment. All of this stuff, y'all, is connected. All of it is connected. Now, I know that if you might be listening and the gems might be missing you, but you got to understand that you got to rewind, you got to apply. This is the clinician's perspective of business. This is not something light that I'm just going to be talking and you're not going to understand what's going on or the words that's coming out of my mouth. No. Because if you will understand if you apply it. Because you would say, hey, that worked. But you got to understand that. You got to get that. You got to know, like, is my agreeableness low? Am I affecting my team culture by not being or by being agreeable? By saying yes, 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 yes. If I told every grant or every solicitation, yes, 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 we could do. Guess what? My staff is going to get overworked. They're going to have a problem with me. They're going to be mugging me. They're going to be like, girl, we doing too much. But I don't do that. I balance it out. And then I say, you know what? We're going to get bonuses off this, y'all. It's a before the storm happy hour. And it's an after storm dinner. And right here in this moment, we're going to be crash dummies. We're going to be working out like a mug. But after this, we're going to be good. We're going to have our little party and our graduation. And we're going to make everything happen and be a success. You have to pay attention to what you're doing to help your team or to hurt your team. What you're doing to bring in the best team. How self-aware are you to be the leader that you need to be? Because the big 5 personality traits, you need to know where you at on the pendulum. You need to know. Are you this? Are you that? Are you high? Are you low? You gotta know. You gotta understand that you are always going to work under pressure as a CEO unless you're working by yourself. You're going to have a lot of pressure working by yourself only because of the productivity, because you needed to get done. But then once that happens, you're going to have other people that's going to work from you, and you're going to have the pressure from the people that award you, from the people that you're serving. And you're going to be the person in between. You're going to have to be prepared to deal with the person in between you, the peanut butter and the jelly, the PBJ. You got to understand. You got to be ready for where you are. So when you look at these big five, you need to know where you swing at and where you swing. And does it hurt or does it help? Become more self-aware. These last couple of shows, that's what this was for. It was for you to become more self-aware as a leader, to roll out that plan, to know if you're going to take a gain or L. What type of leader you're going to be in your for-profit or your non-profit? Are you going to take that spiritual walk or are you not? You just like, no, this is what I want. This is how much money it is, and I'm not moving off my mark. Get that coin. I ain't mad. I'm just a different type of business owner. I'm just a different leader. You have to pay attention to those things. Because if you don't, you're going to crash and burn. The psychological perspectives of business is so necessary for you to pay attention to. Look how far you have come. If you've watched from show 1. I would like to thank you for coming to Time for Change. Dropping gems every other Tuesday, 6 p.m. Like, subscribe, and comment on my YouTube channel at Time for Change Consult. Yeah, we're going to be getting these change agent pins very soon because I want to go to these businesses and put one on your shirt. Yeah. Please DM me pictures, questions, different things, success stories. I'm asking for it all because my change starts with you. Your change starts with you. And dropping gems. Thank you so much. I'll see you the Tuesday after next. You have a wonderful day.